again, welcome if you're joining online. So excited you're here with us today. We're going to learn a brand new song together in just a minute, and I'm really excited to teach it to you. It's actually one the team and I had a chance to write together about a month or two ago. And what I love so much about this song, you'll see the words on the screens in just a second, but what I love about this song is that if you read the Bible, right, the Old Testament, the first part of the Bible, the New Testament, which is the second part of the Bible, you'll hear story after story after story of everyday people, just like you, just like me, who go through things, right? We all go through some things. And every one of the stories in the Bible, people seem to be at their breaking point, right? They get to their wits' end. They get to where they can't go a day longer. They can't go a second longer. And then what happens every time? Who shows up? God shows up right on time because God is faithful. If you didn't know that today, that's all right, but God is faithful. And I believe that this song speaks to that, and I can't wait for you to hear it. Here's the chorus right here. Let's learn it. And I will praise you when the ocean's in my way, when the walls begin to shake. You are faithful, and in the valley, when the giants seem too great, when the fire's too much to take, you are by my side. You are by my side. Come on, can we sing that again? And I will praise you when the ocean's in my way, when the walls begin to shake. You are faithful, and in the valley, when the giants seem too great, when the fire's too much to take, you are by my side. You are by my side. Oh, you're by my side, Jesus. We sing, and there's a melody that my heart sings, an offering of praise that my life brings, only for you. It's only for you. We know that every single time you've been faithful. For everything you've done, I'm so grateful. You've seen me through. You've seen me through. Come on, all together. And I will praise you when the ocean's in my way, when the walls begin to shake. You are faithful, and in the valley, when the giants seem too great, when the fire's too much to take, you are by my side. You are by my side. I will choose to walk close beside you. You got my every step, do what you want to. I'm fixed on you, and I'm fixed on you. We sing that Jesus, you're my hope and firm foundation, the anchor of my soul, the solid rock, and I'm set on you, and I'm set on you. And I will praise you when the ocean's in my way, when the walls begin to shake. You are faithful, and in the valley, when the giants seem too great, when the fire's too much to take, you are by my side. You are by my side. You are by my side. Come on, let's sing this out in faith right here. The darkness is fleeing, it's running, retreating, for it knows that God is on my side. Come on, ain't that true today? There's joy in the morning, and there's dancing, rejoicing, for I know
your plan. From the depths to the dawn, you were there, your promise is strong. I will trust with all that I am. Come on, we sing this out to him today. Jesus, Jesus, oh, how I need you. You stay the same. You are good in your ways. Jesus, Jesus, oh, how I need you. You are enough. Oh,
a seat if you are in the room. Welcome to church, everybody. Aren't you glad you're here today? Man, we're so glad that you decided to gather with us, whether you are here in the room or gathering online. A huge welcome to you. My name is Brad. I'm one of the pastors here at The Journey, and man, it's just an incredible opportunity for us to worship God together today. And as we do that, I would love to know that you gathered with us. You can let our team know by filling out one of those Connect cards that's on the chair in front of you if you're in the room, or online, go to connectwithus.tv on your cell phone. Leave a little bit of information about yourself, and I'll tell you what to do with that at the end of our time together here today. Also, I think I've got two next steps that we can take as a community of faith together, and I believe you'll find yourself in one of these two areas. The first of which is I want to encourage you to get off the sidelines and into the game. And here's what I mean by that is there's so many people in our church who have rolled up their sleeves to make a difference by serving other people. And instead of just gathering on a weekend and coming for one gathering, they've started to serve and make a difference in other people's lives. And I want to encourage you to do that. If that's your next step, if you're going, hey, I'm ready to take that next step of starting to serve other people, we make it really simple. There's plenty of teams that you can join, opportunities for you to serve are galore around here. And here's what I like to say. We need your influence. We need you to be a part of it. And so I want to encourage you, grab your cell phone right now and text Plugged In to 94,000. Whenever you go through Plugged In, you'll get partnered with a coach, and you can find an opportunity to serve. They'll find the opportunity that works best for you. If you're in the room today, you can stick around after this gathering for a few minutes, go through Plugged In and chat with a coach before you leave today. You can get signed up right away. Maybe you're saying the second thing is, well, I've already done that. I've already gone through Plugged In. I'm already serving on the J team. Well, then I want to encourage you, your next step is to kind of take one more step out of your comfort zone into what God has next for you. And maybe your next step is to start leading, to say, you know what, I'm not just going to come and serve once every other week or once a month. I'm going to start leading people. I'm going to lead in my family or on a team or in my job or whatever that looks like. We've created something that will really help you take that leadership to the next level and help you develop it. We call it our Journey Leadership Institute evening program, and it's very simple, an opportunity for you to develop in all areas of your life, whether it's your relationship with God, your relationship with your family, friends, coworkers, neighbors, and ministry, whatever it looks like for you. I want to encourage you, take that next step, be a part of our evening program. You can get more information by just texting evening program, all one word, to 94,000, and that way we can send you information. But don't just take my word for it. I want you to hear first from some people who have graduated from our evening program. So take a look.
We've been given the tools in this program to learn to handle in a healthy way the struggles of life, the struggles of ministry.
I would recommend the evening program to every type of person. No matter what you do for a living, there is leadership in you, and it's definitely going to pull that out of you and help you realize that.
If you want to grow as a leader of your family, a leader at your workplace, or even on your spiritual journey, the evening program it's going to take you to another level. Have to lose by coming to the evening program.
Well, welcome to Real Church for Real People, everybody. Glad you're here. For all of you who are gathering with us online, very glad that you are a part of this weekend as well. And I'm so excited about what you just had an opportunity to see and hear about Journey Leadership Institute and the evening program. And I want to take a moment just say thank you to all of you who are making that possible through your giving. I really believe it's going to change our region in the years to come, what we call Journey City, that 30-mile radius around our broadcast location, where so many people need hope. We're going to develop and deploy leaders who are passionate and equipped to make a difference in the world, and I really believe it's going to be amazing to see what God does. And if you are, as you heard, wanting to maybe take a step in your leadership or find out more about what that could look like for you, strongly encourage you to consider the evening program of Journey Leadership Institute. You can find out more about that, as you heard, and take that step. And I'm just so excited about it. If you're joining us for the first time, I'm very, very glad you're here. We're in week 4, the final week of a series that we've called The Best Summer Ever. And if you want to get caught up to speed with the earlier messages in this series, you can go check those out and find those on our website or our YouTube channel. But as we jump into the final week, anybody have anything that did not go the way you wanted this past week? Just by a quick, is there anybody? I'm just wondering if there's anybody online. Anybody give me a hand raise emoji. If you, anything take longer than you expected it to take this past week? Anybody have someone react in a way differently than you hoped they would react, you know? Anybody else in the past few weeks take the stairs 3 at a time, land the wrong way, and break one of your toes? Not that this happened to me a couple weeks ago, but just wondering if anybody's had this happen. I actually was in a video shoot earlier this week in my home. We were recording a video and had everything planned, and then it did not end up going as planned, and we posted it anyway. So you're welcome. You can go to our YouTube channel and see what I'm talking about. Life has a way of throwing us off our game, doesn't it? I mean, we have expectations, and then our realities rarely play nicely with our expectations. Things don't go the way we thought. So when we hear best summer ever, maybe some of us, when we hear that today, have this little thought in the back of our mind that says, yeah, but what if it isn't? What if it isn't the best summer ever? What if already, just in these first few weeks of the summer season, things aren't going the way that I wanted or hoped? Or what if I'm gonna face things I didn't expect this summer, difficult things in a relationship, or maybe with our job, or our plans for school this fall, or our health, or whatever it may be? What if things don't go the way I hoped they would go? So if we took a poll and I asked, hey, would you rather talk about how to avoid hard things or how to face hard things? Most of us would probably say, hey, if you could help me in an area, it would be how to avoid hard things. I don't need to learn how to face them. I just want less of them in my life. And I feel you. I have the same kind of approach. I don't want to go through difficult things. I like it when things go according to plan. But the last week of the series, just on the off chance that something this summer is not going to go the way we hoped, just on I know it's a very remote possibility, but just on the off chance that something is not going to live up to our expectations, whatever we believe about God, wherever we are in our spiritual journey, maybe the more important question to ask as we wrap up the series is, how do we become the kind of people who can handle hard things when we can't avoid them? How do we become the kind of people who can handle hard things when we can't avoid them? So a guy named James wrote a little book we have in the New Testament of the Bible. And he wrote to people who were facing exactly that. They were going through some very difficult times in their lives. They were suffering. Things were not going the way that they wanted or hoped. And so James writes to them these words. He says, dear brothers and sisters. So if you're new to the church thing, if you're new to the Bible, this is James' way of reminding us that when we begin to follow Jesus, we become part of a spiritual family. So we put our faith in Jesus. We don't just get Jesus, we get each other. For better or for worse. We'll talk about that in other messages, but we get each other. We're a family. So he says, hey, don't forget you're a family, first of all. You're not alone. That's important. And then when troubles of any kind come your way, consider it an opportunity for great joy. Now, I don't know about you, but when troubles of any kind come my way, rarely is the first thought that comes to mind, oh, look, it's an opportunity for great joy. It's just, I don't know if you thought maybe you were hearing from the most positive person on the planet or not. Let me just let you down easy. That's rarely my first thought. So when I have conflict with a friend or unexpected financial issue, or maybe I'm working lots of long hours, lots of long days, not sure I'm accomplishing anything, or my kids are hurting, or a parent is struggling, or my wife is going through something hard. You know, I've learned not to just be trite about this. I've learned not to go to people I care about who are suffering and to say things like, wow, aren't you glad? Oh, it's an opportunity. Aren't you grateful God has given you this opportunity? I don't want to get punched in the throat. So I've learned, this is not necessarily the first thing to say. And so I get, for some of us, we're going, hey man, that sounds a little bit too good to be true, or a little bit superficial. But when you think about it, what is James actually asking us to do? He's not saying that our immediate reaction is going to be, oh, this is good, or this is an opportunity. No, he says, stop and consider it. And when you think about it, that's really great advice, because we're going to consider the troubles that come our way as something all of us are pretty good at considering. How many of us are good at ruminating? You can think about problems. Anybody else think about problems? You can marinate those problems, stick them in the fridge like a good steak in the middle of your soul and just let them soak in the problems long beyond when you should have put them on the grill. They're still in there. Anybody just want to make you hungry in time for lunch today? We're going to consider our troubles as something. What if we could get to the place where we consider when we stop? Wasn't maybe our immediate reaction because we're human, we're normal, but we were able to start considering our problems through the lens of who God is and who we are to God. And if you don't have a real relationship with God in your life, that may sound kind of foreign or new. And I want you to know right up front, I'm not here to twist your arm. You don't have to believe anything you're not ready to believe yet. But for all of us who know Jesus, what if we could start considering our troubles differently? Because troubles are going to come, everybody. It's just part of life. Big troubles are going to come, small troubles, medium-sized. Small troubles like when you get a flat tire, is a small trouble's going to come. What if you could consider that an opportunity? There are medium-sized troubles like a struggling relationship. What if we could consider that an opportunity? There are big troubles like getting a flat tire while you're on your way home, fighting with the person you're in a struggling relationship with. All these troubles, they're gonna come our way. And sometimes we forget this process, even though many of us have had lots of experiences like this, knowing that life doesn't always go as planned. And we begin to think, we get into this place where we think, okay, this will be the best summer ever if everything goes the way I want it to go. If my vacay is everything I hoped it would be, if I hit my sales goal, if I'm able to spend 100 hours lying by the pool, if I lose 20 pounds, if I get accepted where I applied, if everything goes the way I want, if the kids get along, this will be a great summer. But hard things have a way of showing up even when we're doing everything right. So what do we do? First, James says we got to stop and consider it. That instead of just giving into anxiety or apathy, because the temptation is to go to either of those places. I can do both of those in the same day, by the way. Rather than just freaking out or pretending that it's not really a problem, no, instead we step back, we face our lives exactly as they are, we practice acceptance, we say, okay, this is real, this is not going the way that I hope, we face it just like it is, and then we do something so counterintuitive, so radical, so out there, that it's not always gonna come naturally. We decide, the way I'm gonna consider this is that it's not just an obstacle, it is also an opportunity. So I'm not taking away from the fact that it's difficult, but knowing God the way I know him, again, whether we're brand new to this, been following Jesus a long time, still trying to figure it out, knowing God the way I'm getting to know him, there's an opportunity contained within this, and not just to survive, but an opportunity for great joy. When troubles come, it's not just an obstacle, it's an opportunity. When troubles come, let's get this screen on the screens. Let's get this screen on the screen. There it is. It's not just an obstacle, it's an opportunity. It's an opportunity. Contained within the difficult thing is an opportunity for great joy. Now, some of us are going, is that just positive thinking? Like, I think I get what you're saying. I should think more positively about my problems. One way to think positively about your problem is to decide that you're positive, you're gonna have problems. And that can take some of the surprise out of it. But the reality is, when we know Jesus, this is not just positive thinking. It's actually very realistic thinking. And James tells us why. He doesn't just say, when troubles come, consider it an opportunity for great joy. He says, here's why. For you know that when your faith is tested, your endurance has a chance to grow. There's something that's happening in the middle of that struggle that could not and would not otherwise happen. So if you're new to the message of Jesus, this is a big theme in it. The troubles are going to come. Our faith is going to be tested. And when our faith is tested, it gives our endurance a chance to grow. Maybe some of us have been exposed to this version of Christianity that kind of gives this message. If you put your faith in Jesus, now all your problems will be gone. You'll never struggle with anything again. You'll never go through anything hard. But that's not really what Jesus showed us, right? I mean, if you look at Jesus, our leader and Lord, what does he do? He goes to the cross. He goes through this intense suffering and pain So much so, one of the writers of the New Testament tells us that he saw the shame and the pain of the cross, and he despised it. He hated it. He didn't want to go through it. We're even told that on the evening before he was going to go to the cross, he prayed and he said, Father, is it possible to let this pass from me? I don't want to have to go through this. In his humanity, he was God, but in that moment, he was so human and so honest about the suffering. But he decided to go through the cross because he saw the joy on the other side of it. He saw what it would accomplish. He saw that there was no other way for us to come into a life-giving, real relationship with God. So if the one we follow leads us to the cross, and it makes sense that we're gonna have to take up our cross, right? And follow Jesus, how often? Daily. Every day, to go through those difficult things, but to not go through it alone. It's like resistance training. So when we lift weights, when we take the weight of a problem and we lift it, our spiritual muscles are stretched. And here's what happens when you lift physical weights, or so they tell me. No, I'm working on it. It's just a slow process for me, all right? Genetically predisposed to look like this. It's a fight against nature. But what happens when we lift weights, and I do, fibers tear, and anytime you have to tell people you lift weights, you know that just gotta reassure people, hey, just so you know, been lifting. No, you can't tell. But what happens is we lift weights, the muscles, the fibers of the muscles tear and they stretch, and that's the painful part. And they go through this almost breaking down, which seems counterintuitive. But then what our body says afterward is, okay, you can go through that process, and if we feed our bodies the right things, which is, we talk about that all the time, putting the right spiritual ingredients into our lives, the right environments. If we feed our bodies the right things, our bodies come back and rebuild those muscles stronger than they were before. It's the only way to gain strength, is to create resistance for our muscles at their current capacity to stretch and strain against, and then the body rebuilds that muscle stronger. Without problems, we don't develop perseverance, and the only way to build spiritual and emotional strength and fortitude in our lives is for our muscles to have to lift the weight of worries and troubles and problems with God. That's how we become the kind of people who can handle hard things. That we go through the weights, we go through the problems, and this is true, by the way, in every area of our lives. In fact, I'll give you one very simple example. So how many of us are parents? We have kids, and whatever the age of your kids, you hope, you want your kids to be able to do well with their money. Any parents want your kids to be able to do well, handle their money well? Okay, just so you know, if you didn't raise your hand, you're a parent. If you're watching online and you're like, the alternative is that when they're 40, they still need yours. All right, any parents who would be like, I want my kids to do well with their money? Yeah. Okay, so better response. That time you're like, yeah. Tuned out there for a second, but I'm back. So I read this study years ago. It was fascinating to me. It was not what I expected. That the kids who, when they become adults, often struggle the most with handling money well, are often the kids of entrepreneurs and people who worked really hard to build a business or to build a career, started from nothing. Maybe the first college graduate or the first person with an advanced degree in their family worked really hard to build a business or a career or an enterprise out of nothing, fought doubters and setbacks and insecurities for years. The kids of those people often end up struggling most with money. You say, why would that be? Well, it's because those parents who went through immense pain to build something from the ground up, ran lean, lived well within their means, took high ownership, knew, man, if this thing goes up, it's on me. If it comes down, it's on me. People who really just dialed in for years and built a successful life decided, I don't want my kids to have to go through what I went through. So I'm just gonna give them everything they ask for that I worked hard to earn, so they don't have to go through what I went through, not realizing that going through what they went through is what made them successful. It was the struggle, it was the strain. You say, how do you know? I planted a church, thank you very much. It was the struggle, it was the strain, it was the, is this gonna work? It was the, man, this could cave at any moment. It was all of that. Now, I know there's some students in the room right now watching who are like, shut up, man. Want a car for my 18th birthday, and I don't want a 1999 Camry. I want a car. Yeah, but just humor me. Where in your life are you wishing someone would just hand you success, not realizing that the moment it gets handed to you, it's not real success? It's the wait, it's the process that actually gives us the capacity to sustain the success. And without the process, and by the way, just so you know, good news, our Father in heaven is a really good dad. And he has very healthy boundaries. So he does not say, oh, I don't want my kids to go through anything hard. I took care of all that for them. I don't want them to have to face any unmet expectations. I'm just going to make sure they always have everything they want. No, our Father in heaven says, I love my kids so much that I'm going to concentrate not just on what they're feeling right now, but who they're going to become in the process. So I'm not going to cause all the pain in their lives, but I will always package an opportunity in the middle of their obstacle for them to become the kind of person that I desire for them to become. And that will actually be deeply fulfilling. And that's why we set our church up this way. Just so you know, if you're new to our church, we designed our church not just to be a place where we come and consume spiritual experiences. This is a place where we engage in a community of faith. We take next steps. We invite other people to experience God with us. We connect, we serve, we pray, we give. Why do we do all of that? Because through that process, is it uncomfortable at times to step up and go to the next level? Yeah, and that's where we grow. So if you're brand new here, come as long as you want, take as long as you want, no pressure. For all of us who've been following Jesus for a while, can I just tell you that you might think you've been a follower of Jesus for 18 years, but you've actually been a follower of Jesus for 1 year repeated 18 times? Because every time God challenges you to step up, you're like, oh. And that's why you can't lift 100-pound problems. Because you weren't in the workout room, given the capacity to become the kind of person who can handle anything. You know where some of our greatest struggles with doubt come from? They come from the fact that our faith muscles are so flabby from lack of use when there wasn't a crisis. It's quiet up in here. And all of a sudden we're like, oh, 100-pound weight. Haven't worked out in 3 years, but let me go lift it. God, where are you? God's going, this is going to take a minute. You're going to need a protein bar, okay? This is going to. Now, it's important to understand that the presence of troubles alone does not cause us to grow. So let me be very clear, because you probably know lots of people, I do, who have lots of troubles, but they don't get any stronger because of them, because they don't face them well. It's like having lots of weights in the workout room, but never lifting them. And some of us are kind of wired that way. There's some of us going, man, I don't understand. I bought this elliptical machine 2 years ago. They told me it would change my life. It has sat there for 2 years. I don't feel any different. I don't understand. It's broken. Some of us go, church doesn't work. I tried it. I attended. Sat in the chair for an hour, got a little antsy toward the end, and I don't feel any different. Aren't you glad you came to church today? Yeah, because going to church on a weekend is like walking into the exercise room. It's necessary, but don't stop there. And we're like, oh, I'm here. Look at all these weights. Oh, I can already feel it. Woo! I can handle anything. It's not the presence of problems that grows our faith. It's a willingness to get down to the business of lifting them with the help of God that grows our faith. to say, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. That would just be positive thinking if I didn't have a Christ who's strengthening me, but I do. So it's very realistic, and I believe that it's not just an obstacle, it's an opportunity. That if God is for me, who can be against me? That in all of these things, I am more than a conqueror through Jesus Christ. So what should we do when troubles come this summer? When sunburns and broken AC units and broken off engagements and boredom and vacations where it rains the whole time and getting called in to work long hours. That moment some of us have experienced lately where we're trying to buy our first house and we get outbid 5 times. I'll name my firstborn child after you if you will sell me your house. Stress and negative pregnancy tests or positive, bad decisions and bad days. What do? Here's the plan. Troubles are going to come. Consider an opportunity. When your faith is tested, your endurance has a chance to grow. So here's the plan. Let it grow. Let it grow. For when your endurance is fully developed, if you're willing to go through the process with God, neither consumed with anxiety or apathy, but focused, trusting, you will be perfect and complete, needing nothing. Now that's the life we want, right? I mean, that sounds like a good life. I'm in, perfect, complete, needing nothing. Imagine we could wake up every day going, I don't need anything else to be complete. I'm focused, I'm excited, I'm glad to be alive. I'm thankful for the life that I have. Life going exactly the way we planned, or maybe a better way to put it is a life where we go the way we planned, even when the things around us don't, because we've become the kind of people who can handle anything. How do we get to that life? I mean, that sounds like a good life. I want that life, perfect, complete, needing nothing, no emptiness in my soul, just knowing who I am and whose I am and why I'm here. How do we get that life? Troubles, problems, weight that seems like it's more than we can lift, pain we didn't ask for. There's no other way. When our faith gets tested, our endurance has a chance to grow. It doesn't automatically grow, it just has a chance to grow. And the chance depends on a decision that we make by faith. Am I gonna get bogged down in frustration, disappointment, hopelessness, making excuses, self-medicating? Or am I gonna let my endurance grow? Am I gonna say, okay, God, don't want this, didn't ask for it, it hurts, it's hard, but here I am, here you are, let's do this thing. By the grace of God, I'm gonna lift this way. Do I believe that when troubles come, it's not just an obstacle, it's an opportunity. This is why we need a few people around us going the same direction we are spiritually, by the way, because we will forget this if we try to do life with Jesus solo. We need people who remind us God's not finished with you, he's still working in your life. That's why we need purpose beyond our problems and our present moments, because if we let our endurance grow, in the end, we will be perfect, we will be complete, God's definition of perfect. Perfectly dependent on him, perfectly at peace in any storm, perfectly clear about who we are, why we're here. That's the end game. We'll be the kind of people who can handle hard things. And now we know how to get there. Our endurance has to grow. And the only way for our endurance to grow is for our faith to be tested. And the only way for our faith to be tested is for troubles to come. So, when troubles of any kind come your way, consider it an opportunity for great joy. So what should we thank God for? Not just the easy days. We should thank God for the problems. Thank God for the weight we can't lift without him. Thank God for the things that didn't go the way we wanted. I dare you today. I dare you, I dare myself, I dare us to start thanking God for the class we failed. I dare you to thank God for the business that flopped, for the time she dumped you, for the medical condition you were born with, for the bankruptcy you filed. Thank God for the moment you couldn't hide it anymore and you finally needed to admit, I'm an addict and I need help. Thank God for that very loneliness you endured and the divorce you didn't ask for and the loss that felt like it ripped your life apart. Thank God for it. You say, why in the world would I do that? Thank God for it, not because he caused it, but because he refused to let you go through it without putting a chance for you to grow right in the middle of it. Thank God. Thank God for the weight you're carrying right now. Because if you'll carry it with faith in God, if you'll endure with faith in God, what's happening is, I know it hurts. The fibers are breaking down in the muscles of your soul, and it seems like the worst thing ever. There's pain, there's discomfort, there's stress. You're wondering, am I even gonna survive this? And God is saying, keep going, because when you get done the workout, the Holy Spirit's gonna come in and build your muscles stronger and better, and you will not become the kind of person who can avoid anything hard, because that would make you weak. I'm shaping you into the kind of person who can handle anything hard, because that will make you complete. Thank God. Thank God. Thank God. Because God puts a special favor on those who go through a process they didn't ask for. And he blesses those who patiently endure testing and temptation, weight they wish they didn't have to carry, and afterward he will crown them the kings and queens of handling hard things if they never stop loving him. That's his promise. So thank God, he doesn't just stand by and watch us suffer. No, he blesses us as we patiently endure the moments and the seasons and the summers when things don't go the way we want, and in the end, he crowns us when we believe that when troubles come, it's not just an obstacle, it's an opportunity. So in California, over the past few years, there have been a bunch of droughts. And I was actually visiting Southern California a few years ago in the middle of one, and it was bad. I mean, there were restrictions on water, everything was brown. People said things like, we don't even remember the last time it rained. And the problem is, there are a lot of problems associated with that. One of them is that a lot of fruit grows in California. We've been talking during this series about how God intends for us to produce good fruit, which happens when we remain close to Jesus. So all these fruit trees, but the question is, what is a fruit tree supposed to do during a drought? Because droughts are not good for fruit trees. They need water. And can we all agree that when there's a drought, it's not the fruit tree's fault? You don't go, way to go, fruit tree. So what is a fruit tree supposed to do? It didn't cause the drought, needs the water. What happens to a fruit tree in that situation? Well, what happens from the outside looking in is exactly what you would expect. The fruit seems to suffer. So these are pomegranates, as an example, and this is a healthy, juicy pomegranate grown under ideal conditions, had everything it needed. Looks amazing, at least if you like pomegranates, it looks amazing. If you're not a pomegranate fan, stay with me. But I mean, it looks like it's supposed to look. And pomegranates are loaded with antioxidants and all this healthy stuff. We're still kind of discovering how much is in them. There's healthy stuff that can help our bodies fight off inflammation and all this. They're good for you, and so they're an important fruit. But when a pomegranate is grown under drought conditions, it looks different on the outside. Skin is discolored and dry and cracked. It can look even worse than this. And so researchers decided, well, let's find out. Let's test them. Let's not just look at the outside, which is so easy to do. Let's crack them open and let's see what's going on the inside. And they found something really amazing, that when they tested one of those pomegranates that grew during a drought, it had just as many antioxidants and just as much healthy stuff on the inside as the one that had everything handed to it, which is good news, right? It means you can have a fruitful summer even if everything doesn't go the way you wanted. But there is an exception. Because there was a very severe drought at one point in this area of Southern California where some pomegranate trees were growing, and the farmers on one particular farm decided, you know what, let's make it even worse for these trees. Talk about some mean farmers, right? So let's make it even worse. So they restricted the roots of these pomegranate trees. And then they poured a compound on them consistently that had salt in it, that drew even what little moisture was there out of the tree. They were trying to shock these trees, make it even worse on them during the drought. And sure enough, just like you would expect, the trees were misshapen and stunted, and the fruit was small and cracked and dry. But when they cracked open those pomegranates, they did not discover that they contained just as much health and inflammation, infection, fighting power. They had twice as much. So if you're looking for a church where plastic people dress up and pretend they don't have any problems once a week, this ain't it. And if you're looking for a faith that preaches that all your problems go away like the flip of a light switch, this ain't it. See, this is a place, and this is a community where many of us come beat up. We come tired, we come thirsty, we come searching, we come addicted. Lately, we've been having to find larger spaces for our recovery groups to meet in during the week. Yeah, I'm glad. Because this is a place for real people. We come burned out. Some of us are burned out on religion. I have so many conversations, so many of you. Man, I went to church some when I was a kid, or I went to a certain kind of school, but it just had a bad experience, burned out on religion. Or some of us come looking very successful on the outside, but on the inside, all the fruit's been scooped out by life. And we wear a smile, but there's an ache in our souls. And we come here like that, and the message of Jesus doesn't pull any punches. The message of Jesus doesn't hold back. The message of Jesus says, yeah, it's exactly right. You're dry and cracked and thirsty, hopeless and empty without me. You've got sin, you've got brokenness, you've got stuff in your life. The message of Jesus does not pretend everything's okay. The message of Jesus says, yeah, exactly. From the outside looking in, I mean, you've been through a lot, but the message of Jesus doesn't stop there, because Jesus refused to stop there. Jesus says, here's what I can do if you're interested, is I can take your whole life and all the brokenness and the pain and the struggle and the weight you didn't ask for, and let me get involved in that, and let me get involved in the parts of your life you thought were written off, and I promise you by the time it's over, you'll have twice as much pomegranate power on the inside. You're gonna be full. That's what Jesus meant when he said, I have come. He said, there's a thief who comes to steal, to kill, and destroy. He offers a life that looks good on the outside but has nothing on the inside. But Jesus said, I came so you could have a rich and satisfying life. And if you'll let me be Lord of your life, here's what you're going to discover again and again, that when troubles come, it's not just your obstacle, it's your opportunity. So let your endurance grow. And it starts here by thanking God for the thing you thought you could never thank God for. And if you would say this last week of the series, man, I need that hits home for me. I'm one of the ones who's coming thirsty. Will you just shoot your hand up all over the room with me? I'm not holding mine up as an example, by the way. I'm one of the ones. Online, would you let us know that you need this too? Jesus, we sang it to you earlier, but we need you. We're asking you to take all the stuff that we're weighed down by and teach us how to look at it through a new lens. Teach us how to see it with a new perspective. God, I pray over this community of faith. I pray over everyone in this room, everyone watching right now, that we will experience good things this summer. But I also pray in the middle of the things we didn't ask for and we didn't expect, that you will meet us there. God, that we'll keep gathering, keep connecting, keep serving. We won't drift from our faith. That we'll keep inviting, keep praying, keep giving, keep leading, keep becoming the kind of people who can handle hard things. Keep working in us until we are perfect and complete, needing nothing. In Jesus' name. And while you let God speak to your heart for a moment more, for some of you today, maybe you're going through something difficult and you don't yet have a real relationship with God. And if that's you, I'm gonna say something that you might not expect me to say. It's very possible you'll get through this, whatever you're going through, without Jesus. So that's not what I expect you to say. But it really is. I mean, chances are pretty high you'll make it through whatever current crisis you're facing, with or without God. But can I ask you a question? Why would you want to? Why would you want to go through the crisis and miss out on the crown? See, when we do life without God, every good thing and every bad thing is eventually just a thing. But when we do life with God through faith in Jesus, everything in our lives takes on purpose. And our God wraps opportunities in our obstacles and teaches us how to do life that is real, that is beautiful, that is good. And if you want that today, if you want to begin a real relationship with God, I'm not promising you every problem you face will go away. I'm promising you that you will no longer face anything in your life from this moment on alone. And if you want that, this is your moment. Just right where you are, just whisper out a prayer of faith if that's you. Jesus, something like this. Jesus, I give my life to you today. I believe you died for me. I believe you rose again. Jesus, you are leader and Lord of my life. I declare it by faith. And if that's you, while everyone around you stays focused on God, if you would say, I want to be included in that prayer, will you shoot your hand up? Just hold it up high right now. Yeah, just hold it up boldly. My faith is in Jesus today. Yes. It's amazing. Watching online, will you let us know? Type the word faith in the comments. And then everyone, help me. Let's give Jesus all the praise. Come on, would you do that with me? Give him all the thanks. Celebrate him today.
That was such a great reminder that even when our faith is being tested, we can find freedom. If you put your faith in Jesus, congratulations. We are so proud of you. Your life is never going to be the same. We want to send you a New Believer's Bible in the mail to help equip you with your faith journey. So fill out that digital connect card at connectwithus.tv so we can celebrate with you. Here at The Journey, we believe that raising up leaders is an important part of spreading the life-giving message of Jesus within a 30-mile radius of our broadcast location in Newark, an area where we call Journey City. This past year, 2 journeyers, Matt and Ari, were looking to grow in their leadership and also in their faith, but they were presented with an interesting challenge. They both worked full-time, and Ari was struggling with a chronic illness and the busyness of school. How could they dive into something more? They both stopped making excuses for their lives, their words, not mine, and said yes to God's plan for them by joining the evening program, which you heard about earlier in this gathering. You see, Matt and Ari shared that because this program, they were able to learn hands-on leadership skills, grow as communicators, and deepen their marriage, and go all in serving others. Each time you give, you're making stories like Matt and Ari's possible. You're helping to provide scholarships for leaders, completing the evening program, and create environments for them to develop biblically based leadership skills. Because of you, empowering leaders are furthering the kingdom of God. Text GIVETJ to 94,000 and see whose story you can change next. And if you're ready to take that next step in your faith and own your leadership, text evening program to 94,000 and apply today. Or maybe you heard us talk about Plugged In earlier and you'd like to be a part of that team, making a difference here at The Journey. Join our J team. Text Plugged In to 94,000 to get connected with a coach and find the right serving area that's unique to your gifts and your talents. Thanks for tuning in and have a great week. And as always, enjoy the journey.